Hi, everybody. So today we have something exciting for you, and I wanted to introduce our must researcher Shagnik in today's call. So Shagnik literally has been with Must since 2018, and he has been focusing. He started out as an engineer. He has been a data engineer for quite a few years. He passed out in 2000, and I think over the last couple of years he has been extremely interested in data science. And what Shagnik really does is that he's trying to solve one of the biggest problems that we see. Okay, bad roads, bad drivers, chaotic traffic. So that's what Shagnik is trying to solve. So just to introduce Shagnik also, apart from the his entire identity as a data science and a data engineer, Shagnik also loves music, he loves traveling, and he loves a lot of other things. Right. So welcome Shagnik to today's must showcase. And before we go to Shagnik, let me just explain what it is all about. So we have all been in roads of Bangalore, the most crowded ones. We have all been in roads of Hyderabad, and we have all heard this, this ephemeral thing called driverless cars, right? We know Google is experimenting. We know Tesla is experimenting. And every time we go down the road, whether it is a MG road in Bangalore, whether it is a Bada Bazaar in Calcutta, whether it is somewhere in Hyderabad, in Secunderabad, think of the most crowded places, when we go down this road, when we see, let's say, a cow coming in between, three people, walking by, a car braking in front of you, we wonder whether a driverless car would really work in the Indian streets, right? And that's where Shagnik comes into play, because Shagnik is solving exactly that. So before I, or going into, without going into much of explanation, I think I'll go straight to Shagnik now, and I'll ask him, Shagnik, what made you so motivated about creating a driverless car for Indian roads? Over to you.
Sure, Tony. Thanks for such a wonderful introduction, first of all. Yep. And thanks, Musk Research, for giving me this platform or this opportunity to talk a bit about this project, which is very close to my heart, really. See, driverless car or autonomous driving, that's like the kind of the in thing nowadays. Yeah, there is too many, or rather, I should say, so many big organizations, smaller organizations across the universe. They are working in this area, and probably some of them have made some significant advancements as well. Yes, but still there are so many challenges that we need to overcome in this area. As probably you have already covered some of these in your introduction part, like most of the research in this area till date has been done keeping in mind driving conditions in first world countries,
Right.
primarily the developed countries like US or various countries in Europe, yeah, where everything is pretty perfect. The traffic conditions are perfect, drivers are pretty much trained to drive on those road conditions. Yeah, they follow rules and regulations almost perfectly. And the traffic movements are not that chaotic. Roads don't really have potholes like India, or
Correct.
you don't see animals on those roads or human beings. Yeah,
Yes.
that's like unimaginable. Yeah. But think of a country like India or maybe any other third world country where things are not that perfect. You see, I mean, it's kind of opposite in a sense. Like you see animals, human beings, cars coexisting on the roads. Not much of road signs, not much of traffic lights in rural areas. Not many those speed limit indicators on roads. Okay, and again, cars can approach from any direction, literally.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and most of the times we are kind of habituated with back-to-back traffic in our cities. Yeah. So, and so can the project XYZ basically started as an academic project initially, and later on it basically now we are trying to expand the scope of it, and the thing started with trying to resolve some of these issues, some of these problems in third world countries. Keeping that in mind, can we mitigate some of these challenges? Like, first of all, can we identify some of the unknown objects that are only visible on Indian roads? Say, let's take an example, say some bullock carts,
Right.
or can we identify certain potholes on the road? Can we identify any kind of noise? Say, for example, someone shouting at you and telling you to stop. Hey, stop, because he's crossing the road in front of
Right.
the car. Yeah.
Right.
So, can we handle that kind of a situation? And certainly, back-to-back traffic jam condition. Yeah, and on top of that, we thought, uh, like, can we build a low cost solution for these countries, for a country like India, where it will be within the reach of common people? So these are,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Right. I think that's a brilliant thought, because we are so used to buying low level, or not say low level, but we are so used to hatchbacks within the 5 lakh range.
yeah,
And you can't have all expensive self-driving cars on an Indian road, right? It doesn't fit our purchasing power all the time. So
yeah.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, see, like what you said is absolutely right. Like Indian car makers, or basically even the international automotive makers, they are what they are targeting in India. That market is a mass market, basically. Yeah, we
Right.
have like lower end or like middle end cars on the road, which are people generally. Most of the cars that get sold here are within probably uh, 10 lakhs. Yep,
Maximum. Yes.
max. Yeah, but the on the other hand, if you look at US or Europe market, cars can be pretty expensive, and the technology that is being used for this autonomous driving, even that, say for example, lidar technology,
Right.
that is pretty expensive as well. Like in US, roughly it costs around 10K USD,
Hmm.
and that's probably more than a low end car in India itself. Yep. So
Right.
if we are going to use that kind of a technology in India, the solution cannot be uh, like cost effective, and it cannot be a mass solution. Yeah. So
Right.
that's another thought process that we started with. Can we build something low cost,
Hmm.
like using some simple sensors for identifying object, or measuring distance, or using simple vision for
Hmm.
identifying what's there on the road, be it obstacles, be it potholes, be it any kind of unknown object. Okay, can we use this that simple technologies that are already available, and basically taking help of AI, taking help of some of the NVIDIA. Actually, I actually should have mentioned this much earlier.
Hmm.
We are actually using one NVIDIA chipset, which is called Jetson Nano, which
Right.
is capable of providing this kind of capabilities, like both vision and speech recognition, as well as building some AI/ML models. Yeah, so Jetson Nano, it's a powerful mini computer having 128 CUDA core. So it's not that expensive. In India, it costs around probably 10,000 INR, and
Hmm.
it has awesome capabilities which can be utilized for building this kind of AI/ML or IoT capabilities that we are trying to use in our autonomous car.
Awesome. So can you I can't hold my excitement any longer. can you tell me a little bit about how you went about designing this solution, and what will the solution finally look like? I know you are in a WIP stage even now, but what will be the final solution look like? So if you can just give us an idea about how you went about it, from
Yeah,
thinking about it for the first time, and then going about it, working out a solution for this, and just give you an idea.
yeah, sure. So currently we are still building the POC,
Mm-hmm,
and at this point, we started with basically a robocar.
mm-hmm,
It's take a simple chassis of a car. You have
mm-hmm.
seen all those RC cars that our kids use. Yep. They are using a remote basically to control. But
Right.
in this particular case, we are not going to use any remote
Mm-hmm,
or anything. Jetson Nano will be used. Jetson Nano and AIML will be used to run the car of its own. And basically, along with Jetson Nano, there will be simple, say, cameras, be it a serial camera or an USB webcam, which will be used for capturing images or
mm-hmm,
videos or live streams as the car is running on the road. Some simple sensors, like it can be ultrasonic sensor, it can be simple IMU sensors that are used in our mobiles nowadays. Every Android mobile probably uses these IMU sensors,
mm-hmm.
which is pretty cheap. And these sensors will be used for identifying the objects around you, and basically to measure the distance from the car to these objects. Or basically, they will be used for capturing any kind of sound or noise from like the environment. Like it should be able to capture anything, any kind of uh, signals from 360 degree. That's the whole idea. So Jetson Nano is at the core. The AIML or the IoT capabilities of Jetson Nano will be the driving functions, which will be used to control the car using servo motors, simple ultrasonic sensors for capturing objects and distances or any kind of signals from 360 degree. Yeah, at the core, that's it. It's pretty simple actually, not very
Right.
complex.
Right. So what we have right now is a robo car on which this is implemented. What we have to do is basically take it to a real car
Yeah,
and
yeah,
test it out, right? And
yes,
you are
yes.
based in Hyderabad, so I'm sure that we are going to be targeting Secunderabad, one of the maybe the busiest roads in Secunderabad, to try it out. We can't wait for that. And I know that you've got some videos that you have shot, while you were driving around and all that, right?
Mhm.
So why don't you give us a little bit of a glimpse? At least our viewers will find it interesting if they get to see something.
Yeah, just give me a second, please.
That's a pretty cool screensaver, by the way.
I'm hoping this is just a small example of a very short video, less than a minute, where we
Right.
tried this Jetson Nano on Hyderabad Road. This is around the financial district area. And we were
Right.
trying to identify objects on the road as the car was moving. We were driving the car in this case. This is
Right.
not an autonomous car,
Right.
just to mention. But basically, the Jetson Nano is being used to capture live streams from the road and
Mhm.
identifying the objects.
So
And
this, so for an uninitiated person like me, what do the percentages mean?
that's like the accuracy, that's the confidence level
Okay.
at
Okay.
which this particular program is identifying the objects.
So you are being
so
able to identify a person, a car, a shop, a bike, an auto driver,
yeah,
all of it, right?
yes. And
Okay.
this is just the beginning, and next we will be targeting if can we identify potholes on the road, can we identify a stone lying on the road, maybe not on the
Mm-hmm.
smaller ones, but a big one which is probably causing some kind of diversion on the road. Can we identify that? Okay.
Right.
Or anything approaching the car from any direction, basically. See, if you look at this person, if this person is
Mm-hmm.
approaching instead of uh, walking on the sideways, if he's
Right.
moving towards the car, we should be able to identify that person as well. Yeah, and
Right.
react accordingly. Should I break down? Should I slow down? Or should I try to just ignore the person because I think I can, I mean, I can go on, like the car can move. Yeah, so those
Perfect.
kind of decisions we have to make based on this. So this is still in, still a very, just the beginning.
Perfect. This looks very, very exciting. Can you show us some of the equipments that you have used? The Jetson Nano, for example, or
Yeah,
any of the other images that you have?
just a second. Just sure.
Okay. I think it's blurring out because of the
Yeah,
background a bit.
yeah. Let me change the
Yeah.
background. That helps.
Ah, perfect. So that is the secret sauce of the self-driving car that Shagnik is driving, which is at the core.
Yeah.
And great. So I think Shagnik, what's your timeline like? When do you think you will have the working prototype running, even in a robo car on the streets of Hyderabad?
Um, we are targeting to uh, have some working prototype before the end of this year.
Okay.
And yep. So, and the next in phase two, we like first half of next year, we plan to uh, have it working on a real car. And
Perfect. Perfect. Great. So I think that was a fantastic that was a fantastic session with you, and we are definitely keeping it short because we don't want to reveal all the secrets in this call. But what we will do is, to our dear viewers, this is consider this as the first episode of our session, and we will be revisiting with Shagnik, as he starts to develop more of this. As we see the car in action, this is going to be a ongoing series on our project on, the self-driving car that we're bringing for India. And I think we'll have a follow-up session with him once the first car hits the road, and then when a real car hits the road next year. So great, Shagnik. Thanks for speaking to us today. And we look forward to all the excitements that are coming up in this area. Right?
thanks a lot, Tony. Thanks for
Thank you. Thanks everybody, and thanks for watching us.